What's up everybody, Griffey here, with the monkey who likes to unalive that family making its way into theaters and my love of listing things. I thought it'd be fun to rattle off the toys I find more terrifying than that little wind-up murder furball.
Hi, I'm Andy. What's your name? Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
Let's get the obvious one out of the way. There is no doubt Chucky is the reigning king of the evil toy genre. Chucky made his first appearance in the horror classic Child's Play and has been slashing up anyone in his path ever since. No, a half-assed Cabbage Patch Kid isn't that scary on its own, but it's what's on the inside that makes Chucky so terrifying. Also, what isn't? That empty battery reveal is an all-time horror moment. No, this isn't just a plastic ginger friend, but a house for the soul of serial killer Charles Lee Ray. Charles Lee Ray, also known as the Lakeshore Strangler, was a terrifying serial killer who finds himself dying after being gunned down by police in a toy store. Thankfully, between murders, Charles had the foresight to take some voodoo lessons, allowing himself the ability to transfer his soul into the body of a good guy doll, and thus Chucky was born. How did Charles have so much time to learn all of these hobbies? Not only does he night school voodooing, but we see he's also quite the interior decorator, given that his whole apartment is covered with well-endowed murals of himself. Seriously, go watch that scene again. Imagine how many more victims there would be if he wasn't so busy painting naked dudes. Chucky is clearly more scary than the monkey, right? The monkey beats his drum and murder things happen, right? That's cool. Charles Lee Ray being inside of a doll that sleeps in the bed with your child while you're out at work as a single mom trying to provide is way scarier. The dark shadow of Christmas can't just show up and start handing out socks and sweaters. That won't spread the kind of fear that reminds us what Christmas is truly about. No, Krampus is here with an entire bag of shit you don't want that will have you praying for cold. What I love about Krampus is his commitment to creating these nightmare playthings. He really uses all the trappings of the season. A giant goat Santa is enough to have anyone wetting their matching pajamas, but he isn't sitting back on his hooves. He keeps working. We see Der Clown, a massive jack-in-the-box that eats children like an anaconda, Perchta, an adorable little angel that reveals itself to be more devilish with fangs, claws, and a pointy long tongue. There's a teddy bear, which is, well, just a teddy bear, but more murdery. Finally, for the more modern naughty lister, TikTok, a murder robot. So me personally, if I were getting a gift for Christmas, I would love to get these toys. That clown could not eat me, would choke to death, I'm too fat. That doll is adorable and evil. I like murder robots. I grew up on BattleBots. Teddy bear, you can keep that. So I think these being specifically pointed at Christmas time give them an extra layer of evil that makes it more interesting to me than the monkey doll. Imagine being a little boy, thinking you're about to open up a Nintendo 64, and that jack-in-the-box jumps out. That inversion, that destruction of the Christmas joy is what makes these toys perfect to me. Tales from the Hood may be my absolute favorite anthology horror film of all time. Ain't no funeral home! Welcome to hell, motherfuckers. Tales from the Hood is a series of urban-themed horror stories dealing with everything from abuse, police corruption, to racism. I'll never forget being a kid and seeing an abusive dad being crushed and twisted as his son crumples up a drawing of him as a monster. However, the story that really blew my mind was called KKK Comeuppance. This is a story centered around a racist senator and former Klansman who moves into a plantation in an attempt to rehabilitate his image during a campaign. The plantation is not empty though. While there, he comes across a painting of a bunch of dolls. Said bunch of dolls come to life, exit the painting, and hunt this human racist piece of shit down. So why I would pick this group of dolls over the monkey is the fact that this is trauma that is born out of real life misery, right? These are people that were actually hurt, actually brutalized by real life and society, and watching them take their righteous revenge is wonderful. Even as a young viewer, this movie just had more to say to me than most horror movies I ever watched. It's a super affecting movie that has only gotten better with age. Poltergeist is an all-out assault on the American dream of the 1980s. A family moving into their new home in a nice cookie-cutter neighborhood seemed to have it all, until we realized this land was once a burial ground and these graves have been displaced to make room for suburbia. The spirits don't take kindly to the developers disrespecting their resting spots and decide to take their revenge. They're here! This movie had plenty of nightmares for a young viewer. I still struggle to sleep if I see a tree branch outside of my window. My Saturday morning cartoons were never the same after I realized I could be sucked into an alternate dimension through the screen. Imagine a ghost sucking you through the tube as the X-Men theme rips on guitar. Actually, that would be pretty rad now that I think about it, but I digress. The scene that actually sent chills down any kid's back was the clown doll. I wonder why in the name of all that is holy you would even buy this toy for your kids in the first place. Its giant elongated body, its nasty I have a secret face, yikes. Take the spiritual possession out and this is still the worst Toys R Us decision ever. This is the thing. A little monkey doll that bangs on his drum and you wind him up, that's a toy that lives on a shelf or deep in a toy box, right? The doll is something that is supposed to be in bed with you. It is designed to be the size of a child so that you can snuggle up in it. And then it starts trying to strangle you with said jujitsu body. That made this doll truly terrifying. It looks just awful enough to be something you could imagine your worst relative having bought for you. The fact that it's in your bed watching you sleep makes it scarier than a monkey that sits on a shelf. I will never discuss killer toys without honoring my favorite made-for-TV menace, the Zuni fetish doll from the Amelia segment of the Trilogy of Terror. You knew this doll being a gift for Amelia's boyfriend was a sign that things aren't going well before the golden waist chain falls off. This is not the kind of gift you give to a good partner. This thing is all teeth and blade. This is more of a get your shit together or else kind of a gift. Watching this poor woman being hunted through her apartment had me glued to the TV. In fact, Child's Play director Tom Holland says seeing this film gave him inspiration to how to bring his own pint-sized killer Chucky to life. Also, this was hilariously spoofed in a Treehouse of Horror episode of The Simpsons. How'd they never try switching Zuni to the good setting? This doll, as soon as the chain falls off, wastes no time getting a sharp knife and trying to kill this woman. He doesn't try to negotiate with her, he doesn't ask for little clothes, he doesn't want anything except for her blood on his wooden body. The Zuni fetish doll is infinitely more scary than the monkey. Again, the monkey is a prop for some supernatural force. The Zuni fetish doll is inhabited by the supernatural force. It doesn't do gags and have your ceiling fan fall on you and kill you. It busts that chain off, grabs a knife, and it ceiling fans you itself. And then even if you defeat this doll, the spirit will escape and inhabit your body. Look at Karen Black at the end of that segment and tell me that's not scarier than anything I'm about to see in the monkey.
Daddy, are you here?
Board games are toys, right? No toy has ever been marketed specifically for the purposes of unleashing horror on its users. Great strategy, Hasbro. The perfect gift for the parent who always wanted their kids to be inhabited by angry spirits. There are so many instances of Ouija boards in horror movies. The Exorcist, Paranormal Activity, 13 Ghosts, Witchboard, all have used this cardboard spirit phone to ignite terror. I think the version that utilizes this device best though is Ouija Origins of Evil. The movie follows a mother who is a fake psychic, even using her kids in her ruses. Of course, her daughter discovers the Ouija board and busts it out at a party to be cool. I guess things were tougher before video games. The rules are simple. Never play alone, never play in a graveyard, and always say goodbye. Of course, the game is interrupted, then mom picks one up to try to talk to her dead husband, and the poor youngest sister Doris becomes the victim of the spiritual spillover. The movie was overlooked by many due to how absolutely lame the first Ouija movie was. However, this Mike Flanagan prequel brings the scares. If you lay your hands on this movie, your planchette will definitely spell out holy shit, and also eat more Taco Bell. Or maybe that's just me. So the reason a Ouija board is scarier than the monkey is that a Ouija board gives you access to all of the evil spirits. This is a classic gambler thing. You either take the sure favorite or you just take the field. I'm taking the field. I'm taking the possibility of every evil spirit as being more scary than whatever the hell the monkey is. Also, you can go right now today to Target and pick up one of those Taylor Swift hats and a Ouija board. That makes it insane. How many murder toys can you just buy at Target? The new Queen of Evil toys has to be Annabelle. Making her first appearance in The Conjuring, this doll has gone on to make some scary other appearances. Sadly, her first attempt at headlining her own feature, Annabelle, was horrifying in all the ways you don't want a movie to be. What a piece of shit. But thankfully, Annabelle found redemption in the truly scary Annabelle creation. This film takes us back to the doll's origin. A doll maker loses his daughter in a terrible accident, and then bizarrely he decides to turn his house into an orphanage for other young girls. Makes perfect sense. You lose a child, try to call her back, a doll becomes a hell servant, and you want to add more young children to the mix. Math. This movie really deploys those jump scare set pieces that are the lifeblood of the Conjuring franchise. You know a toy ain't for kids when you find it in a locked room wallpapered with scripture and crosses. What an entrance. Annabelle is full on a doll who is a front for a full demonic presence. That makes her scarier than almost every other evil toy on this list, right? The monkey may eat one family at a time. Annabelle's a demon. Whoever picks this thing up gets got. This movie ends where we see the adoption of this young girl, Annabelle, and her starting The Conjuring Part 1, right? This all ties together. We see that Annabelle, since this moment, has gone on a killing spree that has lasted decades. Oh, your killer doll movie has one killer doll? How quaint. If you want a movie that definitely blows its budget out on a veritable army of disgusting dolls, you want Stuart Gordon's Dolls. Who can forget that poster with the little doll with hollowed out eyes holding its own eyeballs? Dolls is a classic old dark house horror flick. A group of random strangers all find shelter in an old house during a gnarly storm. The eccentric old couple who own the home are housing more than just their new guest, but also a vast array of scary stop-motion dolls who find plenty of ways to kill these new intruders. None of these dolls on their own can carry this movie, but the scenes of swarms of these creepy antique dolls attacking will definitely have you pulling the covers up. In fact, my wife used to collect China dolls, a lot of them. When I got invited to her bedroom, it was the most joyous day of my life. It was all about to happen for me, things were looking up. And there's just hundreds of little glass eyeballs looking at you. And I said, am I willing to die for this? The answer was yes, and I didn't, and now I'm married, but I could have. And that's the warning, guys, be more careful. Just because I made it doesn't mean you will. Thankfully though, my wife wasn't a magician like the old creeps in this film. The old people see those dolls as a morality test for adults. If you fail, you join the collection on the doll shelf. The sheer number of these things let you know there are a lot of naughty adults who have stayed at these people's homes. I think the reason these dolls are scarier than the monkey is that as we see this army of dolls killing these people, we realize all of these dolls were at one time us. They were just adults who came to these people's house and didn't want to hear fairy tale logic and do morality tests. They just wanted to do grown-up stuff. And then they got turned into dolls. I would rather have this monkey and whatever the hell it is kill me with some kind of trap in my own home than have to be a doll and live in these old people's homes and help them kill and turn other humans into dolls for all eternity. That's way worse.
I know they're coming.
Charles Band really had a thing about evil toys. He produced dolls, demonic toys, Prehysteria, Dollman, and a slew of other low-rent but incredible playtime horror movies. However, his greatest franchise in the evil toy genre is definitely Puppet Master. Puppet Master is a franchise that follows the exploits of murderous dolls animated by Egyptian magic and created by a puppeteer, Andre Toulon, who fled from some Nazis that wanted to weaponize his talents. Yeah, when a franchise has 5 prequels, 5 sequels, crossovers with demonic toys, video games, comics, things can get confusing. There's only like 5 Highlander movies, The Injustice. Also, just over 15 movies. There are so many murder puppets in this franchise, they're gonna take out the monkey. What are you gonna do? You're gonna drop the leg of a couch on him and try to hurt him? There's Nazi scientists. They have a flamethrower to take to that monkey. They have such a wide array to attack. That's scarier to me. Also, the first time we see them, they're just in a luxury hotel. I'm just going out there to save my marriage, and next thing you know, I'm covered in leeches. Some guy's drilling into my missing ACL, and another guy who looks like Doc Brown's gonna stab me in the face. That's just worse.
Congratulations, you are still alive. Most people are so ungrateful to be alive.
I want to play a game. where I can just lead my life without being judged by a doll in a suit on a bike. Jigsaw's preachy nonsense is made all the more terrifying when delivered by a toy. Leave us alone, Jigsaw. If I want to be lazy and eat Taco Bell, man, I talk about Taco Bell a lot, you don't need to murder me with traps. We learn that Jigsaw made the puppet named Billy for his son who he lost in a miscarriage. He already had the toy and a developing psychosis, so why not combine them? Finding a toy in the midst of these grungy carnage arenas definitely ups the creep factor. Imagine waking up in a giant bear trap hat and hearing those little squeaks. I'm trying to process this fresh hell when this doll drops in with this plastic jaw and drops the bassiest voice on me. You win, dude. I don't love the Saw movies myself, but it is undeniable that those are some of the scariest situations I've ever seen in a film. The fact that this doll is what you see, that signifies that a serial killer has put you in an unwinnable spot where you have to maim yourself if you have the guts. The monkey, I'm gonna hear his drums, he's gonna take me out. That's fine. With Jigsaw, when I see that little doll come in with his judgy ass Karen face and his little haircut, that means I'm gonna get it. And I have to do it to myself. That's way worse. And then he's gonna read me a list of all the things I suck at just for insult and injury. That's it for my list of toys more terrifying than the monkey. Which toy aisle monsters have I missed? Wrestling buddies? Floam? I'm gonna go throw all my kids' toys in the trash. We're book people now.